It is the Blainey Awards. We welcome you back to True Blue here on BYUtv. I thought you were Brad Pitt coming in with all that commotion.
I'm glad to see that you dressed up, black tie event.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's in the spirit of Oscar week. We're going to give out the Blaineys and treat it as such.
These are the 2012 basketball awards, the Blaineys, and let's start with the best scene right out of the gate.
Yeah, well, the best scene is coming from the Baylor game, and Brandon Davies, who had a terrific ball game in this one. One of his best games of the year, 18 points, 13 rebounds, and this was big time. This was against a team that is known for its dunking, and he throws one down right on the top of that front line for Baylor. He answered a couple of big dunks with that one of his own, and that's our best scene. Brandon Davies, tremendous game against one of the top teams in the country for Brandon Davies in that one against Baylor.
Remember, the crowd went nuts. That was a big moment.
You know, and the scene itself, I haven't seen a better environment in college basketball all year than the Marriott Center that night. Sold out to the rafters. What a great basketball game and a great college basketball environment. It was a great scene.
Okay, I like this next one. The Best Costume Design Award.
Well, this has to go to Charles Abuo in the Longwood game. Remember that Charles came out and he had his basketball shorts on backward.
Yeah, what was he thinking?
I don't know, was it not a costume malfunction, but it seemed to work just fine for him because Charles really played his most complete game of the season. 19 points, 16 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 assists, and 2 blocks for Charles Abuo in this game. He should think about wearing his shorts backwards in every game from this point forward.
Certainly for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. In tournament play, put him on backwards.
Turn him around, Charles. All right, now the next Blainey Award, the best player in a leading role.
Well, for this one, we have got to go with Noah Hartsock. He stepped from being a supporting player last year, as well as anybody we've ever seen, into a leading role. Led this team 16.8 points a game, leading scorer in the West Coast Conference, 5.3 rebounds. And when BYU needed a big shot this season, he was the guy that stepped up, wanted the basketball in his hands, and made shots down the stretch. And he is the most important player to BYU. They need to have him healthy if they're going to have a chance to make a tournament run.
Okay, that's Noah's first Blainey Award.
Yes, absolutely.
Just in time for the senior. All right, up next, the best director.
Well, this one has to go to Cusick for being the guy that Dave Rose looks down the bench to when things are not looking right and things are getting a little bit ragged out there on the floor. Cusick comes in and directs things, dishes out assists, takes care of the basketball. Assist to turnover ratio is outstanding. And we just felt like we had to give his a credit for that role he has played this year. Things get ragged, this is the guy you go to. He will direct the floor.
Academic All-Conference, Craig Cusick as well.
Yeah.
Good floor general.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for the best performance for the Blainey.
Well, best performance, there were some great performances.
Right.
You could go with Davies, you could go with Hartsock, you could go with Carlino. No, we are going with Brock Zylstra because this is the only perfect performance this season. That's hard to match. 22 points. Zylstra was 6 of 6 from the three-point line, 8 of 8 from the field. He had 6 rebounds and his best effort of the year against San Francisco. And I don't know that anybody else is going to be able to match that with an absolute perfect basketball game.
It was nice to see him get 20 the other night leading into the WCC tournament.
Yeah, and they need him as a complimentary scorer to be able to knock down shots. In this game, he was unbelievable, off the charts.
Okay, for the Blainey, for the best actor in a leading role.
Well, this one's a little fun. We're going to give this one to Brandon Davies because he led this team in charges taken this season with 30 charges. A tremendous actor. He's a guy that knows how to get back and to take charges, and he did a terrific job of scoring. And when Hartsock has been down, this is the guy that BYU has gone to. And so, I mean, you could give the MVP award during conference play to Brandon Davies. I think Hartsock over the season has been terrific, but Davies has really stepped it up in conference play, and he can carry them to some tournament victories.
Eager to see his senior year.
Yeah, he's going to be terrific. He is just getting better every week.
Best picture, there was a lot of hubbub at the Oscars. Who would get the best picture? Who gets the best picture in the Blainey?
Well, we're going to give you, this is actually a photo picture that we're going to give you, and we're going to give it to Austin for this great dunk. And then I love the expression on his face when he was done. The crowd that was still there was so excited because if they get to 80, they get free yogurt. Look at the look on his face.
He's ready to bite in a bunch of yogurt.
He brought the crowd to its feet because everybody got yogurt because he threw that one down. That was the yogurt buster right there, and that's the best picture.
That was a big moment.
Yes, it was.
One of the highlights of the season. All right. For the Best Short Film Award for the Blainey.
Well, coming down the stretch in that San Francisco game, Matt Carlino was terrific. He had perhaps his best game of the season, 30 points. He was 13 of 19 from the field, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. But it was his shot down the stretch that made the big difference for BYU. He was a guy that wasn't afraid to attack the basket, and he wasn't afraid to take the shot. He wanted the basketball in his hands, and when they needed this big shot, he took it left-handed on the baseline and knocks it down, the game winner. And it was nice to see the young freshman step up and be a guy that wanted the basketball, and that short run at the end of that game was the best short film we've seen, and Matt Carlino perhaps his best game.
Each year at the Blainey's, you like to give the Career Achievement Award.
Yes,
out.
absolutely.
It comes at the very end of the show.
Well, our Career Achievement Award is absolutely a no-brainer. Noah Hartsock has been simply outstanding all season long. The most consistent player, the most valuable player, the guy that knocks down shots when you need him to in big games. And he's been so good as a complimentary player over the last couple years and willing to be out of the spotlight. He was a tremendous scorer in high school coming out of Oklahoma, and it was so good to see him in his senior season get a chance to be the man and to lead this conference in scoring.
There was an additional story, maybe Dave Rose. You consider he loses Jimmer, he loses Jackson, he comes back with 2 freshman guards, and he still gets 23 wins in the regular season.
Yeah, if we could give an executive producer award, that's probably the one that would be most fitting for Dave Rose, because he's done an unbelievable job. And I don't think people expected BYU to be as good as they are this season because of the loss to the best defender in the league and the leading scorer in the country. But what he's done to meld this group together has been fantastic. He's our executive producer of the year.
Pressure's off now. The award show of all award shows has come to an end.
So, and next year we're going to have, people bring out the envelope. We should have an envelope. We just have a paper, just a list.
Yeah.
But next year we're going to go with an envelope and beautiful women that will bring them in gowns, and we'll do the whole deal.
Hey, I'm concerned for you getting out of here.
It's just getting better. It's getting better every time. Coming in was tough, but it was it was the second only to that Baylor game in environment when we came in here tonight.
Okay, go change out of that. Makes me nervous. BYUtv basketball analyst Steve Cleveland's going to join Blaine and myself next as we set the table for championship week in Las Vegas. This is True Blue on BYUtv.